Greetings and blessings abundantly, everybody. Welcome to the Abundance Universe podcast. I am your host, Bijan. I hope you're having the best day of your life. And if you are, I got good news. It's about to get a lot better. Today, I'm here with my cousin, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen is an amazing young man, and we're going to get into all that he does, all that he is, and who he is here today. But I want to first welcome you to the podcast.
Hey, man. Happy to be here.
Thank you, man.
Another conversation. It's always good.
It is.
Always good talks.
And abundance alert.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So, back home in Columbus, Ohio, is where I'm from. For those who don't know, back in Columbus, that's where we grew up. A lot of my family's back here, and came to celebrate my bro and nephew's graduation. And in doing so, always got to connect with the fam. But Jaylen and I wanted to connect specifically on the podcast because he recently read the new book, What Is My Why? And we want to talk about it. And Jaylen is on his purpose, in his purpose, hardworking young man. He's an entrepreneur, salesperson, among many other things. Also has a brand as a sportscaster, commentator, and host. And he's a video creator. And in talking about what Jaylen likes to do, what he wants to do, he was like, yo, let's just have a conversation about the book and kind of get into it. But I'm excited to just be able to talk to you in this kind of formal podcast context and let the world get to know more of you because I get to know you a lot better as well. So, Jay, let's start with introducing yourself to the people. Just tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Jaylen. A lot of people call me Jay, as he alluded to, but I am a retirement planning specialist here in the senior market with the senior market in Columbus, Ohio. We do a lot of Medicare, life, retirement-related needs, safe money in retirement for people that are 55 and up. That is my profession and my career right now. As he alluded to, also, I am a very big sports fan. So I watch sports every day. That is essentially my life from 7 to 11 o'clock before I go to bed. It's sports, football, basketball, whatever's on. I'm looking to get into it. So a little bit of my career, my professional life, and then part of my hobbies as well is sports.
That's awesome, man. And you always inspire me because you have such a passion about sports and knowledge about what's going on and just participating in the community that sports create, which I love. For those of you who don't know, I used to play football. I was a 3-sport athlete. I wrestled, did track as well. Really love sports for a lot of reasons, both as a participant and just watching what it does to see somebody compete and be able to win and enjoy the process of getting to a win. And that's really great. And I think you have awesome insights, that you share. So I'm grateful that you chose to kind of take that to the next level and say, I'm going to make content about it. I'm going to inspire other people just as I've been inspired by, these awesome sports. So it's really great. Talk more about the career side. You talk about retirement planning. Maybe give some folks an insight into what that is. Maybe some folks have never heard about that. Maybe you can give folks a crash course. If there is anybody listening who may be of retirement age, maybe they have to reach out to you. But just share a little bit more info about what you do there and how you help people prepare for success and retirement in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. The first 3 to 5 years before and after retirement are the most important, especially for people that have little nest eggs, whether it's a 401k, whether they do have other types of investments or retirement accounts. It's important that they seek out help because they're in a time and period that they cannot lose money. So if they have a little 401k and we see something like 2022 and the market drops again, it's really important that they put their money in a safer spot so that they don't lose it. The reason being is because if they lose that money, they need that for retirement. Right. Well, they're not working past 62 or 65.
Right.
So when you're not contributing anymore to that retirement income, if it drops, you're shortening that leash of how long you can actually use that in retirement. So that's one of the really important parts of what I do. The other element is their Medicare, which is healthcare for 65-year-olds and older. That is super, super complicated with, in a consumer society, what we see on TV, advertisements, the unlimited companies that there are. There's a lot of different nuance to each company, how their plans work. And Medicare is just complicated overall. It's the government healthcare for 65 and older. So those are important, as well as life insurance. Life insurance is important for everyone to have, whether you just came out the womb or you're 80, because you're going to die someday. It's important to take care of it as soon as possible. But for me, I work with seniors who have not taken care of it, and we find ways that makes it affordable for them to get their funerals taken care of, cremation, or leaving money to their family.
Right.
So that is a little bit more the nuance into what I do. So that's why when I call people on the phone, it's important for them to sit with me right now.
And is it good for folks to maybe reach out and start getting information or looking at what products or opportunities you have, even if they're pre-retirement age, maybe 20, 30, 40 years old? Could you still benefit somebody of that age who's not retired yet but wants to plan and get educated?
Absolutely.
Could those individuals seeking that information?
Yes, especially with life insurance. 20 to 30, I have life insurance. People don't think about it. It's not important to people. It's important to people like me because I work in it. I've seen someone get life insurance canceled and have cancer a month later and pass away. We all have had someone we've lost in our life, and maybe they had life insurance or they didn't. Maybe the family had to do a GoFundMe account or whatnot. I've seen it a lot. I've been doing this 2 to 3 years now. I've seen people, brush me off, say they don't want to get it, and they have a stroke at home. So those are real stories. So it's really important because we don't know. We have no idea. You and I could go tomorrow. So yeah, those ages, especially the 40 to 50 range, long-term care is very important because 70% of people 65 and older are going to need some form of long-term care. So yeah, those early stages are really important too. But my niche market is like 55 and up, but I can help anyone out.
Right. So if somebody is, say they're 60, getting ready for retirement, can you help educate them on how they can put the assets that they do have in? You mentioned 401ks, maybe they have different kinds of stocks or investments. Could you recommend where to put those? Absolutely. And how they can set themselves up for maybe they do need some home health care later on. How can they make sure that this is going to last for the length of their life? And make sure, like you said, the stock market crash doesn't happen and wipe them out. They have to work hard to cover that. How do you necessarily help them get from here to there?
Yeah, I think a lot goes into that. It all kind of correlates together because depending on how much money you have, I'm going to figure out what Medicare plan is best for you. So, if you have a little nest egg or 401k, we put them into things called fixed index annuities. There's a lot of different types of annuities, but those are ones that you cannot lose money in. So those participate with the S&P 500, and when the market goes up, they earn a percentage. The market goes down, they do not lose any money. Now, if you have it in a 401k or it's mainly investments or it's with a bank, you can dramatically lose money if the stock market goes down.
Yeah.
So when I sit with people and I do find those assets, we always emphasize that there's something out there for them that they can still earn when the market rises, but not lose when the market goes down.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting.
So you have those assets, you have house assets, because as I alluded to earlier, long-term care. If someone needs long-term care, they don't have the money for it. Well, they're going to have to take that money from the bank, their savings. They may get their house taken from them because they have to go into a nursing home. So a lot goes into assets and why it's really necessary for retirees to sit down with me in my office.
That's awesome. And, let's get into how this is connected to your purpose. How is what you're doing and all the things you do, even what you do when you share your passion for sports, how does that connect to your purpose?
I think it's, as far as my career and profession, it's important because we're serving people. We're impacting people. There's not too many people that we sit with that know that, I can put this into a fixed index annuity and not lose money, but I can still earn some. Or that their Medicare plan does not cover hospital stays to a certain degree, or they do not cover long-term care. So me and what my office do, we want to make sure that those people know about that. A lot of times they don't. I just had a client recently, she went to the hospital and she had a $2,000 bill. So it's our jobs to serve and educate those people. Like, you're an educator. You're educating people for some reason. We educate the people that are going on Medicare or going into retiring, because it's necessary for them to know, because they don't know these things.
Right.
And like I alluded to earlier, Medicare is really, really complicated. It's all the consumer society, the commercials, and everything that goes into it. So it's really about serving and impacting, educating people on all that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's really like a we uplift the world kind of thing.
We uplift the world. Yeah.
I like that. That's the energy. All right, so let's dive into this, man.
Mm-hmm.
You read the book, and the book we're talking about is What Is My Why? I got a proof copy here. And that's why it's got this beautiful bar on the cover. That's another good thing to know. If you guys are ever self-publishing or making your own books, certain publishers will send out proof or test copies of your book with a little bar. Some will not. But I encourage you all to go ahead and give it a shot. Be a publisher. Create something so you can learn the process. If anybody has any questions on the process, hit me up or check out Robert G. Allen's Author Summits. And I actually work with a really dope multi-best-selling author named Robert G. Allen.
Okay.
To write this book, as well as some other books that I got coming out, Abundance Alert and others. But he has a coaching program for authors called the Author Summits program. And highly recommend that for anybody interested in writing a book or self-publishing, what have you. But what is my why? You can use Ikigai to clarify your purpose. I wrote this book to be a tool and a guide for anyone who is at that point in their life where they know they have a lot more to live and to give and to experience in life, but maybe doesn't necessarily have a clear path on how to manifest that or what that actually looks like for them. So this just has a bunch of guides, tools, some stories, some journaling prompts, some information, and some art of mine to inspire your imagination that I believe is an amazing tool for anybody looking to achieve a deeper and clear level of purpose and fulfillment in their life and just get on a track, or maybe you are on a track and you want to get more clear, or you want to do a new career, whatever it is. I think people who are in that transition place and want the next thing to be more in line with their true love, more in purpose, on purpose, this book is for you. So, you read it. Yes, sir. You're one of the first people to get it. Thank you, by the way, for certain. We were one of the first people to purchase the book. As soon as I posted it, saw Jaylen's order come in. Very grateful. Make sure you support your friends and family out there. Anybody that's creating something, give me some support. But let's dive into this thing, man. So you said you had a couple points that really stood out to you when you read the book. And I'm really curious just to hear, what was your experience as you crack it open for the first time and just look through it and you got a chance to take it in and make it a part of your habit practice. Maybe you can start talking about just one or two things that really stood out and kind of main points, and you can dive in on those and maybe elaborate on them.
Yeah, I loved it because it was simple and straight to the point. You have you added a lot of things in there that are simple in terms of how you think, how you eat, and you understand that everything matters. And you can't really pursue something unless your mind's right, your sleep's right, your thoughts are right. And I think that is probably one of my favorite parts about it, because you could write a book and you could really keep it to like a straight line almost, where you don't branch out and say, well, you also have this stuff that's going to help you go to that purpose. It's going to help you get to that summit, or if you will, or get to those goals. So I really like that. The meditation, going on walks, eating right. Just there's so much that goes into it. So it's simple, but it's not simple. You know what I mean? But I think that's not simple, but not easy. That's the term mentor mindset. Simple to teach you is simple, but it's not easy. Yes, right. Because it's hard to implement that if you're not familiar with it. All right, this one. Exactly. This one is simple. Oh my gosh. The concept is yes. You got exactly. It's simple. It's simple. Yeah. Let's do that every day. Yeah. Wake up at this time, do these three things. When you wake up, let's do it every day. That's simple. That sounds great saying it. It's easier said until I wake up. I'm half asleep. Right. And I want to go back to bed. It's really simple. No, it's not easy.
What do you do when everything else is telling you to stay put? But you know that getting up and taking action and moving forward is what needs to happen. But everything around you and within you wants to do something else. What do? How do you get up and go get it?
Something I learned from David Goggins. David Goggins, right? And of course, I haven't mastered this yet, but he calls it negotiating. He says that we have these two voices in our head.
Yeah.
One of the voices is saying, get out of there, you have stuff to do. The other voice is pulling in the other direction, saying, 15 more minutes is okay. 20 more minutes is okay. We're just hit the snooze button. It's okay to hit that. And it's a constant clashing of those two things, those two voices in your head. So, like, it's always a reminder, stop negotiating with yourself. You need to go to the gym, stop negotiating with yourself. If that ice cream is sitting in your fridge, but there's broccoli, stop negotiating with yourself. Or if you're at the store and you look at the ice cream, but you know you shouldn't eat it, stop negotiating. Like, whatever it may be, it's non-negotiables. What it comes down to.
Yeah.
Again, same thing as discipline. It's really easy to say, well, I'm not going to negotiate with myself tomorrow morning. I'm going to pick out. But then I'm groggy and, oh man, I don't want to get there. So I would say that's kind of like try to continue to remind myself of that is stop negotiating.
Right.
You must do this. So
that's it. How about you make a decision? Man, for me, I always have to think about the effects. And in my life, I'm always making a decision to be at cause and not at effect. So some people are at effect of the things that happen to them in their life, reacting all the time. Mm-hmm. Never really causing things to happen, just reacting to what someone else is actually creating for their life. And they're usually labeled behind in that action. So I made a decision through trial and error and learning from my lessons and other people's life lessons to be at cause, be a creator, be a deliberate creator. And to do that, to actually be that, it's one idea to want to be that. It sounds cool. But to actually do that, I always have to have the superstar version of myself in my mind at the forefront of my vision at all times. What would the very best version of me do in this moment? I like that. Not how I'm feeling, but what do I know in my heart that the highest and best version of who God created me to be, what would you do in the movie right now? Because your life is a movie. You're creating the next scenes, right? And it's going to be interesting to watch it all play out. And I hope you're making a movie worth watching, right? Mm-hmm. But I always have that vision of what I want for myself at the forefront when I'm going through life and making decisions. And also I know that God is watching me and God is not judging me. God is supporting me and proud of me. God already put within me the faith and confidence to move in the world and act in my purpose on purpose. So I don't need to have any fear or hesitation about whether or not I'm doing the right thing. You got to trust that. I've learned to trust my purpose. So I say, if I know I'm in my purpose on my purpose, and I know I have a superstar version of myself that God created me to be in his image, who am I to not honor that? I would be dishonoring myself and the creator of all things, the creator of the whole universe, if I did not honor the call to step into the greatness that's simple and simply laid out right in front of you. Right? When you know what to do, you should do better because it's been laid out. So for me, I've had great times and hard times in life. I've created successes abundantly, but I've also had things that I wanted to create that had manifested the way I wanted. Right? There's usually way more attempts than the wins that you see. Always. Right? There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes for anybody that knows. And anybody that's ever accomplished anything great, you know this is true. So for me, I'm always making sure that I am taking my time to take the steps to create the life that I want for myself and others, but also create in reality, create the manifestation of that vision that I have for my superstar self. And in doing that, I'm able to make better decisions throughout the day. because I know that this is going to lead to that because I'm in the cause. I don't want to just get affected by not thinking my decisions out proactively and having a plan and sticking to it. Now, life is going to life you. Things happen unexpectedly, and that's great. That's beautiful because then we learn how to adapt. Our awareness expands. We learn how to be flexible. We learn how to do things when other things don't go according to plan and still use some ingenuity and manifest abundance. And that's when life gets real sweet. It's like, oh, it didn't look like it was here, but here it is. Their manifestation season. And God loves when we do that because it's an example of his power expressed through us. And the faith that we have in him. Faith and belief in yourself. So, and I want to make sure we get that too. As faithful as anybody is in the Creator and their God, whatever you believe in, you also got to have that same belief in yourself because you are God as well. You got to see that. Mm-hmm. It just as your parents' child, you are a piece of each of them. You are a piece of God. Every human and living animal walking this earth is a piece of God. Mm-hmm. And when we know that, we move different. You value yourself. You value others. You value the time that you spend, and you become more of a creator than a consumer. That's the mission. So I always got that at the forefront of my mind, and that's what those can stay on point. When I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing that. But I'm like, what would the superhero version of me do right now? Get up and knock that out. And then when you get started, it don't even take that long. No. It's like, oh, what was I tripping for? It's like when you get started, you hit the gym, it's like as soon as you may not want to go, as soon as you put your clothes on, you get there, it's like, oh, it's fun. Yeah. It's like, yo, what was I there? I actually want to stay longer. Like, it's lit. But you gotta get started. You just gotta get started. So you gotta have courage day by day, inch by inch. And now what you were saying, really, one of my next points in the book is you go back to your purpose and your superstar self, the highest potential of yourself, which is that makes you intentional in your purpose. And like in the book, I think you say something like your purpose is your compass. So like when your thoughts are that I don't want to do this, I want to eat this, but I shouldn't, or I need to try out this podcast, I need to drop this episode, or I want to start this business venture or something. But your purpose is when all the doubt and fear comes in, your purpose is what kind of aids back. And it keeps you on that path to where you're supposed to go to your superstar self. Right. Like the purpose and intentionality is your compass that brings you back home every single time. Because you could have a bad week. Like you could have a bad week. You could have a bad, I could not be up. I'm supposed to be up for 3 days. But then I can home in and like, let me go back to the drawing board. Why do I need to be up at this time? Oh, I need to do this, and this. What's that going to do for me in the future? Spiritually, mentally, physically? Because there's all those things that I need to be doing in the morning that affect those 3 things. Work out, meditate, read the word, be with God, stuff like that. That's why, okay, all right, so this is why I need to be up this time. And it gives you that little of, okay, when that alarm sounds, I'm done. So it's the intentionality and purpose behind it that is that compass that directs. Like that's a direction. Direction determines destination. Right. There it is. That's the quote, right? That sounds good to me. Yeah. That's going to be the quote. I like that. That's good. And yeah, man, because success is a journey. It's not a destination, right? Yeah. And that's the chapter of book 2. So I like that you mentioned that because first we have to have a desire, right? We have to have a desire. You want to have something that you want or desire to create for yourself that is beyond where you are now. I think everybody has to have that, and that's actually the seeds of growth and abundance and really joy, like just some kind of transformation within oneself creates joy. It can be as simple as when we're babies, when we learn how to walk, or we learn how to use the pipe, or you learn how to eat food. Mm-hmm. It's transformation. You're at a new level. And it required you not doing things you used to do, and you had to start doing new things. Right. And that similar framework or process is true at every stage of life and whatever you're in. So to your point, enjoy the journey, and understand that your decisions and your desired direction is going to allow your compass to be your purpose, to the perfect destination for you. So stay true to that vision. Stay true to that passion and purpose and that ideal superstar self. And no matter what happens, what comes your way, when you have intention in your actions and your thoughts, you're always going to be moving in that right path, even if it doesn't look like it. But if you know, it doesn't have to look like it to anybody else. But if you know that you're in your purpose, you're on point, because what God put in you is for you. Other people may not be able to see your vision. Your parents, your family, your friends, they may not be able to go where you're going. Okay? You can still share pieces of it with them, but what's for you is for you. And the more you lean into what God put into your heart, the more it will bless you and further will take you and pay you back in life experiences. And I'm glad that you're seeing that more and more in life experience of your own. Yeah, you know. But what else about the book do you feel some valuable tools that you're able to use on your personal journey?
The journaling, just something that we just recently talked about that I haven't started yet. When you journal, I've heard all the time that journaling is super important to kind of get thoughts out, anxieties, fears, doubts out. That's actually one of the things you shared, that fear and doubt, uncertainty when you are on some path, when you're creating a new thing, a new podcast, a new business venture. That's super important, I think, for everyone to learn about, because we all deal with it. Anxiety is a human trait. When there's uncertainty, we don't like uncertainty. Our brains hate uncertainty. So there's fears and doubts when you are starting something new. So that was actually one of my questions for you. That's one of my favorite parts of the book. Getting that stuff out and journaling, and you making sure that you mentioned fear and doubt. So my question for you is, how have you dealt with that? Because all of a sudden you started in the last, 10 years with the podcast, you create art, you create awesome clothing like this, hats and stuff, podcasts. And do you deal with any fear and doubt, and how do you, because you don't know the outcome when you're starting. You have no idea the outcome. So I'm curious as to how you dealt with it.
Right. Well, there's a lot of steps and keys to that. You know, the first thing I'm saying is I'm glad I was raised on the foundation of faith, because my faith in God allowed me to believe in things that are not yet seen by my eyes. Yeah. It allowed me to believe that I can become something that I am not yet. I can create something that I have not yet tangibly felt or held in my hands. See, I can make that piece of my life. I've seen it over and over again, and I've seen miracles work in church. You know, our grandmother and my mom were pastors, and we have our own church, Maranatha Deliverance Tabernacle. So growing up in that kind of environment, this gives me a foundation of faith that I'm able to take into every venture, and know that with a certain level of commitment and alignment, anything is possible. Because I've had miracles come into my life of all sorts that I didn't know where they came from. I didn't directly create that, but I was moving in the right direction, living in my purpose, and that came to me. You know, because I'm doing what I feel that God put me on this earth to do, and I feel like I'm being obedient in my faith as, hey, stay focused. That's obedient. And it's like you said, it's that voice in your head. A lot of times I think that's God talking to us, the good one. And then the lazy one is parts of the old us. Or so the one that wants you to stay in bed, the one that wants you to nah, don't do that. That's fear, bro. That's the past. Like, bro, don't post that. Nah, post it. You know, post everything every day, because it starts to add up and it creates a compound effect. And it just compounds over time abundantly, man. But you got to start with one step. So for me, I've seen it enough times, and I've tried enough things and have been successful. And also, I've tried things that weren't successful, and everything was okay afterwards. Yeah. Nobody even knew about it. Nobody cared. It was like, oh, we want to go do the next thing. It's like if you fail at something or you have something that's not successful, a lot of people won't pay attention to it. You can just want to do the next thing. So who cares? Yeah. Keep trying. People pay attention when you create success. And that's the stuff that really matters. So as long as you keep working towards that and creating new successes, and if something is not as successful as you want it to be, still see it as a success because it gave you skills and knowledge. You now know another way to not do that thing. Or now you have information to share with somebody else that may be 2 or 3 steps behind you, right? Because you're always 2 or 3 steps ahead of somebody. Because somebody's trying to figure out how to get into college. You already finished. You can at least tell them how to get in. Like, what's a major, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's very valuable to somebody right now. And that's value that you possess. You're a master at that. You finish that part of your life. So think about that. Like, I have a lot of value walking on with somebody that's a couple steps, behind me. So I have something to offer. I'm valuable. That gives me confidence. That makes me less afraid to try the next thing. You got to look at it like that. You have to see where you've come from and how far you've come. There was a time when everybody didn't know how to walk. And you running around all over the place and playing basketball and all that kind of stuff. So clearly you can figure out things. You can change, you can develop, you can grow. So I just take that aspect into new business ventures, into new entrepreneurial things, into new art projects, into working with new materials, making a new type of music. I take that mentality and that thinking into all those areas, knowing that I'm expressing my gifts and I'm also doing my best. I'm answering the voice of get up and do more, get up and create. And I learned to become more of a creator than I am a consumer. Still appreciate art and movies and videos, but then I know when to turn it off and then go work on my own. I'm not just going to keep binging. I'm going to say, oh, that was inspirational. I take notes on the movie or the show. And then I say, let me go write my own book, or let me go write my own story, or let me make a painting based on that series I just watched. So now I'm creating with that energy and using it to make something that's now going to go out into the world and inspire other people. And that gives me confidence. When I know that what I'm doing is benefiting others, inspiring others, why would I be afraid? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and I'm helping people. They got my back. All the people I'm inspiring, they with me, they like it. So it must be kind of good, right? Mm-hmm. And what you do is not going to be for everybody. That's another thing. I've had haters my whole life. I've also had a lot of people that love me. Focus on the love more than hate, but know that you're not going to be for everybody. Focus on the ones who are for you. Who's for you? That's who you focus on. And as you continue to do that, you'll have more people be for you. There's always going to be somebody that don't agree with you, that's not on your Bible. I don't give them energy. No. God bless them. But they got to do what they got to do. I'm here for the people who are interested in abundance universe. I'm here for the people who like abstract art, abstract music. I'm here for the people who want to talk about positivity, inspiration, motivation, up vibes. That's what I'm on. So if you're my tribe, you can get on this vibe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when I move that way and think that way and talk that way, that's what gives me confidence. That's what I'm going to break out of fear and doubt. Because I own who I am and I know that there's somebody out there that's going to appreciate what I make. So let me continue to try to make the next thing better and better, and move forward. And also another thing that gives me supreme confidence, I use the book. I know my Ikigai. I know what I love. I know what I'm good at. I know how I'm going to serve the world with these gifts. And I know how I can create sustainability with my gifts as well. And when you have that, it's like, that's to me is the essence of life. That's really what life's all about. I'm able to set my goals and have goals that align with my Ikigai, make it smart, and then move forward in life and achieve them because it's in purpose on purpose. And when you're walking in purpose and you're truly doing what you're supposed to do, and your mindset is right, challenges seem to like fade away sometimes. Because a lot of the challenges that we create on our journeys are self-imposed. They're mental blocks. Mm-hmm. They're thoughts of us not being good enough, therefore it becomes challenging. Mm-hmm. If you believe that it's a breeze and you believe you prepare to make it as easy as possible, that challenging situation becomes a breeze. It's all about your thinking. It's all about your thinking. But remember, I'm going to read you something from the book. You are successful. You are successful. You've created a success today. If you just got up, brush your teeth, and ate breakfast, and you thank God for the day, you did 4 cool things. That's success. Create more wins in your life. You can say every breath I take is a success dollar, right? Yeah, gratitude points. And just add them up. How many things am I grateful for? Here's a little poem I wrote for you with an art piece. You are successful. No matter where you come from, whether you have lots of money or no money, no matter how many negative experiences or challenges you've had in the past, you can create a life of abundance now. You are successful. And this is the abundance wheel right here. It's another cool tool in the world. But yeah, it's all about staying true to that vision, staying faithful and knowing that who created you is a master creator. And if you look, just look at your body, like you could get a scratch or a cut on your arm and it heals. You eat food and your body does something to it and then processes it out and then does it again the next day and you stay alive. How does that happen? No human made all that work that well, right? It just, you got to understand someone or something created that. We're going to call it God. I haven't seen God. And I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but I know it's an energy and I know the force. Yeah. And the force of God. Yes. The force of God is confidence. It is love. It is belief. Belief. Faith is belief. And then belief turns into knowingness. Right? You can believe something, but if you know it, that's a whole other level. I know God. You believe in God or you know God? We know each other. Exactly. And also, even if somebody's not going to love for you, have a great relationship with God, before you get there, have a great relationship with yourself. Because when you love self and trust self, you open up a channel for God to speak into your heart because God can trust you with what he's going to give you to go out and use it and not doubt it and just sit curled up in fear. You got to get out of that. There's nothing to be afraid of. That's why I'm not afraid. It's nothing to be afraid of at all. It's an illusion. Everything's an illusion. No, we're getting somewhere there. Okay, so let's talk about that. What do you think about reality? What is reality?
What is reality? Oh man,
We're going there.
just put me on the spot. I don't even answer that question. What is reality? Whatever you create. It's the first thing that comes to my mind. Whatever you create your own reality by your thoughts. A gratitude you have, a confidence you have, your attention. Is that what you're on?
Totally question. Okay, it's up to you, right? But I'm just thinking, like, what is our perception of what's real? Is it real because someone else told me it's real, or is it real because I've experienced it, or can there be a combination of like what is reality? What is it for you? Because I feel like reality is different for each person, and it's about the perceiver.
Yeah. It's each grow up with unique experiences, households, cities, challenges, struggles in childhood. So everyone has a unique perception of what's going on in there. Because we were just talking about some challenges, like when you're like a challenge, when you're in your purpose, a challenge doesn't seem that much, right? But a challenge for someone else may be like, oh, this might mean that this isn't me. Like it's all what you think.
Right. Challenge could create excitement for some person.
Yeah.
It could create doubt and fear for another.
Yes.
And they to the point where they just abandon the idea.
Or it could be someone that is coming out of the shell of fear and trying to rid themselves of it. It could be a battle. It could be an exciting, this is good. This obstacle, the obstacle is the way. This obstacle is good. Or this obstacle means something else, something negative. It's all how do you perceive that obstacle, that challenge, that struggle. But you can also fight against that. It's a little bit of a tug of war.
It is. It's interesting. And a mentor of mine told me once that perception is reality. So what he means by that, what he meant when he said that, is that if someone perceives something it is real to them and it is their reality. For example, a friend of mine could say, "You hurt me yesterday. That thing you said, that comment you made to me, you hurt me." I could say, "You talking about? I didn't hurt you. We were joking and laughing and having a good time all day yesterday. Like I was in a great mood. I love you so much. What are you talking about? Like, I didn't say anything hurtful yesterday." But they perceive it's not about what I said, but it's about their perception of what I said. If I said something in a way or with a tone that made them feel hurt, that is their reality.
Yeah.
That's the reality. So do I accept it as my reality because it was not my intention or not? And that's a question that we have to discern with. And that's what we're all dealing with every day. Teachers and students are having conversations and debates. And maybe the teacher said something, the kid starts crying, and their feelings are hurt, but the teacher was trying to help the kid. But the kid's perception, or maybe their programming from their family taught them that anytime somebody raises their voice, you're in trouble and you should cry. What if they're raising their voice congratulating you and you just didn't understand the word? You know? That was a masterpiece, but the kid doesn't know what masterpiece means because you yelled at them and they start crying. It's like, no, you're perceiving something that's not the real reality of what I intended, but it is their reality. So we have to consider that in our communications with other people. They have a different set of programs and teachings and experiences in their past that may have molded them to perceive my reality differently than I perceive my reality.
Yeah.
But if people perceive you a certain way, you have to accept that as a reality. And so know how you're perceived. Know what people say when you walk in. Be aware of that. Consider it. Consider how you look when you step out of the house. Consider how you speak, the way you walk, your posture. Because it's going to create a perception. That's another thing I think about when I'm creating my superstar self. Like, what's the real life I want to create? Rent out huge Airbnbs with vaulted ceilings to record my podcast. That's the vision, right? So am I going to walk into that or just go back and record it in my closet and hope that one day that happens, There's levels to manifestation, but it starts with our perception of what's real for us and what can be real for us. Mm-hmm. That's my take on it.
It's interesting. It's one of my favorite quotes from Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosophers. Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny. What can more aptly fit your needs?
Say that again?
Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, or what can more aptly fit your needs? So it is an emphasis on we can perceive something as good or bad.
Right.
The failures, learning, the growth, the obstacle. We can accept it all, but which part of it, or what's going to be our perception of that reality? Like a car accident. What's going to be the perception that we have of that? Maybe it's a blessing because you get a new car, so it's someone else's fault. But you could also have backgrounds rest you. So it's really hard to transform your brain into that. There's some great Stoic philosopher quotes that I kind of get in tune with, and when a perceived negative situation happens, because we have an impulse too. Because if you're not really in tune with positivity, optimism, and maybe you're more pessimistic, we have an impulse to say, "Oh, woe is me." And
you'll find negativity. There's someone that can find negativity in the most beautiful situation.
That thriving.
Yeah.
Some people thrive. Like they can't even see like the positive side.
I'm too happy around here. I need to make comment. I need to stake it up, man. Let me talk about someone else.
Yeah. That's a rough way to live.
Right.
Even if it's like your circumstances too. Like I think I mentioned this earlier. Epictetus, his line is, "It is not things that are saying, it is your judgment and your opinion of those things. It's your perception of those things that you say it's negative." Or well, no, because if you flip how you think of it, You can find something awesome, but you have to make that deliberate, intentional decision to do.
Find the gold in every situation.
Yeah.
Choose to find a good and find a gold. When settlers, or even today, anybody looking for gems, diamonds, but let's say gold, people are mining for gold. They have to literally dig through tons and tons of dirt to get to the gold and just find one little tiny ounce of gold. They have to go through thousands of pounds of dirt. But they're not looking for the dirt. They're looking for the gold. So always find the gold in life. There's always going to be some dirt around. But who cares? Brush it off to the side and find the gold.
But the mental toughness, that's in any pursuit, anything, like winning a sports championship professionally is ridiculous. Finding gold like that is ridiculous. The persistence that takes and patience that takes to achieve whatever, get a championship or get the goal or get a hit professionally in baseball or make a shot in the league, like the practice, persistence, patience that takes
of knowing dirt, because it's always going to be somebody throwing dirt on your pursuit, right? Rain, so it can get muddy, even worse. But you got to get it out the mud. You got to get it out of the mud.
It can't rain,
and increase the uppage.
What comes after rain?
Growth, abundance, flowers.
Yep.
Trees.
Yep.
Plants, fruit. Fruits of the spirit, fruits of your labor. Let's make some smoothies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that brings me to another point that sometimes if we do get too consumed by that negativity and the impatience, the dirt and the rain, sometimes we can try to pull up those fruits too early, and it's not what it's intended to be. Or whether it may be a relationship, a salary, a job, a car, and we are chasing after that thing without patience, and it's not going to be what God intended to be for us. It's not going to be the fullness of what God wanted it to be for us. It is something that I've learned recently. Like, it's any of those things. You know, let the rain fall, let the harvest reap what you sow, but there's got to be some patience, persistence, and just settling. But then there's nothing with fear doubt. I'm saying, well, maybe it's not going to be this. Maybe it's not going to happen then. Maybe I'm not going to get this amount of money. Maybe this podcast isn't going to hit this many followers in a year or something like that. But it's the understanding, just acceptance is super important. Like, that's a really big word. Acceptance of your circumstances. It's huge.
Accepting what is, and we have to deal with the accepted reality, because there's an accepted reality that we have to deal with. Jaylen and I are sitting in chairs right now. That's the reality. Or are we on an airplane? Right? But I think anybody watching would agree, and maybe even Jaylen and I will agree. For right now, the accepted reality is that we're sitting in a chair. Now, there's spiritual realms and places we could go where we could all be feeling like we're on a plane, right? Mm-hmm. Spiritually. But for now, we have to deal with the accepted reality and the agreed upon reality in the physical world. We're sitting in a chair, right? So there are things that you have to deal with or work with in your life that aren't real, accepted, and acknowledged realities. But there are also things that you can create that do not exist yet with your intention, with action, and with faith that will be manifested reality. Right? And that could be your ideal reality. That could be your ideal lifestyle. My life is great right now, but I also have some things that are actually going to make my life more ideal. Right. That I'm in the process of creating. Right. And I'm enjoying it all, and also knowing that there's going to be some more joy coming soon as I continue to increase the uppage. More joy, more abundance, more gratitude. Abundance awareness. Yes. Vibes. All right. So another thing, man, with this book, what do you think about the concept of Ikigai? This Japanese concept, it means your reason for being. It's originated in Okinawa, Japan. And that's actually the inspiration for this Venn diagram looking art piece here where you have these 4 quadrants, what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. But I'm really curious, just upon your first time hearing about the concept and then upon reading the book and getting in a little deeper, what do you think about Ikigai? And maybe you can even share what is your Ikigai?
What I think of it is, I think the opposite of it is not being intentional and purposeful in your life. So when you're not that, you're not manifesting anything. Things kind of just happen. And I think back to what we were just talking about, I think that's where almost like perception of negativity can come in, because we think everything is happening to us rather than we're creating the positive thing that can happen for us. So if you don't have an Ikigai, a purpose, a drive, a compass, back to the compass point, I think we are kind of just blown by the wind. We're on a ship at sea that doesn't have a captain. I forget what the book's called, but this guy says, I am the captain of my ship. I am the...
William Emerson Victus. I'm the master of my fate.
I'm the captain of my soul. Yes, that's it.
Poem called Invictus by William Emerson.
Yes. And I think if you're not that, you're not intentional about that, we don't have anything. We're on a big ship in the middle of the sea in a storm with no direction, and the only thing that we can see is the storm. It's the only thing we can see. But on the other side of that storm, we have no idea what's on the other side of that storm. We don't have it. We don't have a purpose and a direction that we're going towards. And that kind of is almost like we're just going to see the negativity of the situation. That's when I think of Ikigai. I think it's super important to have it. Know what your purpose is. Know what your drive is. Know where you're going. Because you got to have that compass to bring you home somewhere. Bring you back to your disciplines. Bring you back to the belief, to the faith that you have, and where you're going to be in 5 years, in 10 years, and whatnot. So those are my thoughts on Ikigai. As far as my Ikigai, it's a good question. It takes a lot of thought. I'll admit I haven't put all of my thought into it, and I think it takes a while really to be specific about it. But I mean, I'll kind of simplify mine. It's service and impact. I'm trying to learn, become a leader, to lead the people around me, whether it's family, whether it's friends, other people that I come in contact with, in a simple form. I guess that's service and impact, and just kind of leadership.
It's awesome. It's a wonderful Ikigai. And it's kind of like your purpose statement as well.
Yeah. Mission statement, purpose statement.
Right. When you look in the book, I have a page where I have the Ikigai map as well as a purpose statement of my own, just so that people can have an example. I filled in all 4 quadrants. Just as you said, you have things that you love, you have the skills that you're good at. And then there's, I like to start with that because you got to start with what's within.
Yeah.
If you start looking at where can I make the most money? Who's hiring right now? Then you're making a decision based on what somebody else can offer to the perfect person for that position without even knowing if that's the right position for you, because you haven't started with the inside yourself.
Right.
So you can get into a position where you're doing a job where you're making good money and you're miserable because you're not supposed to be the one in that role.
And they're worried about things externally rather than internally.
Right.
We often say, oh, there's a lot of money in this role. What's the external gratification or
you love it because there's a lot of money in a lot of different roles. But sometimes there's a programming that makes us go for opportunities that are not in line with what we want because we believe that won't make us enough money. And that's a program with artists as well, right? I had to create my mindset to be like, nah, I'm never going to be a starving artist. I'm the abundant artist. We're going to flip that whole saying and that whole script. And this is about abundance and learning about creating multiple streams of income, learn how to invest, learn how to be an entrepreneur. And I do consulting and work with other companies, right? So I'm helping other people with my gifts as a contractor, as an entrepreneur, as just a guy that's sharing positivity and inspiration, this guy that just bumped into. It's abundance at all times. And knowing that there's always more routes and ways for me to live and manifest my purpose, because I'm starting with what's inside. I'm starting with who I am. I'm starting with my gifts, my skills, my passions, what I love. What are you good at? And then what do you want to be great at? Go in that direction and become that being. And then we got to look at how we can offer ourselves to the world in the best way. Again, if you're really good at something and you really love it and you become one of the best at it, then you're going to make a lot of money in that thing. Doesn't matter what it is. There's literally a top person and they got expensive trash bags. They got expensive rugs. They got glassware. You can make forks. There's somebody that's paying $100 per fork. And they got thousands of them. There's really wealthy people. They only want to buy the $100 forks. Just the perception. Like they believe that they deserve the best. And if there's somebody making a $100 a piece fork set, it's $12,000 for the whole set of forks and spoons and everything. I want that $12,000 set. I am a person that needs to eat off of that because that's who I am. That's the lot they chose in life. Some people believe that they can eat off paper plates for the rest of their life, and that's just fine. I'm not judging at all. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but they both reflect the person's mentality and how they see themselves and their expectations for themselves.
Yeah.
And what they chose in their lives. Right. So you choose
choose decision, right? To choose rather than not having an Ikigai when you're just blown by the wind and circumstances fall as they are.
Right. And you get to choose. You're always in control.
Yeah.
So what do you think are some of the keys that help you make good decisions? When it comes to decision making, what is the process you put in to make sure that you're taking inventory and making the best decisions for your team?
It just comes back to what do you want for yourself? What are the decisions? What do you want in 3 years? Where does your compass go?
How do you make those decisions?
How do I make those decisions?
When you come to a point where you got to make some decisions, what's your process?
It's hard. I mean, my first answer to that is I think I'll talk to myself. What kind of decisions are you talking about?
Is there a process you have? Is there a process you go through when you need to decide on something? Like you said, what do I want for myself? So I'm going to look at the desired outcome. And then I may make a list of pros and cons of this decision versus this decision on a checklist, not upload. And then make the decision from there. That's a process. Right? I'm looking at the desired outcome and I'm seeing what's going to get me there the fastest with the most efficient use of my energy and resources and provide the best, most fulfilling outcome. There's factors. Those are all factors.
Yeah.
There's a process for making a decision that's going to support and add value to each of those factors, either individually or collectively. Mm-hmm. Now, do you have any? It could be as simple as me saying, "Is this good or bad?" Right? Is there any kind of process that you go through to help just sharpen the decisions, choices that you make, so that you're in purpose on purpose?
I would say, in a big decision, I got to go to God and I got to go to the Word. Big decision like that, because if it is a decision that, and there's not always these, but if it's a decision that can alter the course of your life, who you spend the rest of your life with, where your money is going, I have enough humility to say, God, this isn't. I need your help here, or I'll ask the BJ, or I'll ask him Rambo. I'll look at the pros and cons, and well, if I, even right now, I'm debating going to an expensive basketball, and it's not cheap. So, what happens if I spend this amount? Am I going to be okay for this amount of time? How much is in this part? Do I finance it? Do I pay full price? So yeah, I think you ask some mentors in your life, maybe simplistic decisions like, what am I going to eat this week? I might think about what kind of nutrients I'm going to get. Am I going to eat veggies? Am I going to eat corn or Brussels sprouts? Or is the protein going to be fish, tilapia or salmon or chicken for this week? So you analyze a little bit. I think it depends on the degree of the decision, but the degree of the impact of that is the decision can have.
So you kind of weigh out the effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just say, okay, this is what I want, but you look at it. This is what could happen with each decision.
Right.
How does that lie to the desired destination?
Exactly. So like the basketball game per se, like part of that is, okay, can I spend this amount of money on my bills taken care of? my car paid for.
Right.
And I still pay for my food and veggies and cherry this week. Right. Am I dipping into my savings or not? So there's different factors that go into that. Just to use that.
It's good. What does abundance mean to you?
Abundance, unlimited, never ending. And gratitude, love, joy, peace, finances is unlimited. I have access to unlimited amounts of that. There isn't. Is there even? There isn't. I don't even think I should use the word amount because there's not an amount. Correct. Because I said unlimited amounts, but there isn't an amount if it's unlimited. Right? So it is. It's here. An abundance of joy, peace, gratitude, strength, growth, evolution. Yeah. It's never ending. It's more than enough. Yes. Yeah. Enough to more than I need. Not limited. Enough to share and to spare. Yes.
Yeah. Let's have it all. And like I say, I want to talk about, as we get to wrap up, is just anything else you want to share about this book? I put a lot of time and energy into this book. What is my why? Make sure you guys grab a copy at bijanmention.com/books. And I just really hope that it's blessing people. And I want everybody to check it out and let me know what you gain, what you believe from it, and how it helps you. If it adds anything to your mission, and that's my mission. Mission accomplished. But what do you want to tell the people about the book that we get ready to bring it on home? Any last things you want to share about what is my why?
Yeah.
Or any advice for the people in general?
Yeah, I think this book, I don't want to make it sound bad as if it's too simple. It is not too simple. It is an easy read with ways to implement his strategies, ways to implement Ikigai, ways to implement getting rid of fear and doubt through meditation, ways to implement eating habits, ways to implement getting your thoughts on paper, such as journaling, ways to implement planning ahead, what you have for the week, the day, the month, what you want done for the week, the day, and the month, and what goals you want to reach then. That's why I think it's a great book. It's a great resource. And he gets to the point about your purpose, your Ikigai, your compass, and gives you actionable steps to do that. So I appreciate him for writing a book. You're incredible, man. I've never thought that I could write a book, which I should. I need to get in your mindset. But writing a book like that is awesome. It's something that everyone needs 100%.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you. Absolutely. Well, it's been a wonderful, wonderful talk. I'm going to link Jaylen's socials in the description so you guys can follow Jaylen, tap in with him, support all of his ventures, check out what he's doing on the side of insurance, helping people with retirement planning, and also he's commenting on sports and letting you know what's going on, the latest and greatest in the worlds of basketball, football, baseball, all sports, and really bringing a new perspective to how we're enjoying sports, not just an entertainment, but an educational perspective. So we'll link all Jaylen's socials so you can tap in, follow him, support what he's doing. Make sure you buy his book when it comes out. In the meantime, check out bijanmention.com. Listen to Lambo Mention music. Write your dreams down. Let me know how you like the book. Love yourself. Love people. We uplift the world. Jaylen, thank you for the time today.
Sir.
See you next time on Abundance Universe.